Hey everybody, I'm Jimmy Owens. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Unicorn. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. So before we get started, I know you can hear our guest, but you can't see our guest. I'm going to describe him, and you'll leave a comment if you think you know who he is, which I don't think you're going to be able to do it unless you're from Oklahoma. He loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He also plays basketball at lunch sometime, I believe. Very good at stop motion. He's a filmmaker. He's done work for Nickelodeon, Disney, DreamWorks, Lego, Hasbro, Mattel, National Geographic. And
just a few of those brands, whatever.
Just a few, right? Yeah. I'm glad you had that on your Instagram so I could just write it all down. But not on his Instagram as listed, but actually in the feed there's a bunch of stuff for a movie called What Rhymes with Reason. So
that's
our
right.
guest today is Kyle Roberts.
Yay!
I'm glad I didn't say Robertson. In my phone, I have 3 or 4 Kyles and 1 Roberts and 1 Robertson. And sometimes I text people when I'm trying to get a hold of you, and it gives me a good touch.
There's a bunch of us. I went to Oklahoma Christian, and there were 3 Kyle W. Roberts at the same time at a small school. So we had to share the same mailbox because they didn't know where to put us.
All right, so some other questions I have for you, because I have known you for a little while. And Kyle's an avid fan, of Ninja Turtles for a long, long time. So have you actually had a pet turtle?
I have. Probably when I was 5 or 6 and loved the Ninja Turtles. I had 4 of them.
Okay. Would you paint a turtle?
No.
Oh, good answer.
Yeah.
Thank you for all those pet lovers. You would have got fined.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not a villain. Okay.
Yeah. Do you wear real fur? All right. Would you eat turtle soup?
No, I'm not Shredder.
Okay. Nice. Do you have a favorite adjective?
Yeah, I don't know.
No? Pass?
Pass. A hard pass.
Hard pass. I figured it would be rad or cowabunga.
Yeah, radical.
Yeah, radical. Anyways. All right, Kyle. Why are you a unicorn?
Why am I a unicorn?
We know you are.
Yeah.
But why?
Because
tell
I'm
our
a
audience.
freaking awesome filmmaker and storyteller.
Yeah.
No, I'd say my passion and persistence has got me to where I am today.
Okay.
So my wife will say I'm a great salesman, and I would say no, but it's my passion that sells. So that's how we got, all these projects. But also it takes a ton of persistence, to complete even a short film, let alone a feature film or a series, for DreamWorks or for whatever.
Yeah. That's how I know you as well. So we appreciate you being on here. And
absolutely.
I think you're great at sales.
Thanks.
So what rhymes with reason?
Yeah.
It's a movie about mental health.
Yeah. So it's essentially this coming of age adventure drama. Mm-hmm. So we kind of pulled some inspiration from Goonies and a little bit of Stranger Things and Stand By Me and all these movies that we loved. But it's totally...
There is dancing.
Yeah.
There is dancing.
Yeah, there is dancing. Footloose a little bit.
Yep.
But it's totally this mental health tool. It's a mental health piece, but it's told through this adventure lens. So you have these 6 teenagers, and there's a tragedy that ignites them to go on this journey to find this hidden legendary thing in the wilderness. Okay. And so throughout this journey, they learn to confront their inner darkness. And that's where we really bring up anxiety and depression and thoughts of suicide. Throughout this journey, they go on together and learn to really go on this journey of life together, because we all are better, together.
Sure.
So yeah.
So how long did it take to write the movie? Did you write
the
movie?
Yeah. So Sean Thiessen, who's actually family of me, not just a film family, actual family. He's my nephew, and he wrote our script, and I really crafted it with him for 6 years. As a creative,
so you always knew, we're going to do this no matter what.
It was a calling, on my life and Sean's life, and it ended up being a calling on our team's life, and continue to kind of answer that call. It took us 8 years from the start of the project to complete the movie. We shot it in the fall, but even just getting funding, and we wanted it to be right. So when we're making a film that's talking about these topics that's hard to talk about. It's taboo, to talk about, but also to make it in a really palatable, form, not only for youth, but families and, everybody, that at the end of the day, hopefully encourages more conversations surrounding mental health, which is the ultimate goal. But that's hard, to do and to wrap into a story of 6, ensemble of 6 characters. And also it was really important for us to make it family friendly, too, which is hard. It's a PG-13 rating. Okay. And we got that back. And some people on our marketing team were upset because they're like, oh no, this is gonna be really bad for us because of the topics. But I think it's going to be good. The rest of our team is like, this is going to be great, because when you talk to, say, high school kids or even like youth group kids, are kind of our target audience, as it does have a message of the faith in it too. Faith adjacent movie is what I call it. Okay. But you say you have this kind of faith adjacent movie about these topics, and they're already going to have a wall, right? Yeah. So that even knowing it's PG-13, it's kind of like, oh, they're going to go there at times, right? At least as far as, so it was important for us.
They're going to cross. They're crossing the line.
Yeah, to not show an attempt of suicide, or because that's an ideation. There are many shows and films like a 13 Reasons
doesn't
Why
help, right?
And stuff like that. And in all of our research for like 4 years, that's what everyone told us. Like, please, counselors, parents, teachers, like, just don't do that, because what tends to happen is that can tend to glorify suicide, and then numbers actually go up for a time after those releases, which is going up anyway as an average. But anyway, and I know that's not the producer's goal for that film. But
my original question is like, why a mental health movie? So like, is it like someone that or you've experienced? Is there like some other stuff like a little bit deeper? Because like, I know you want to help people,
right?
Because I know you,
But
like I would think there's if you're working on a project, you're writing a movie with a family member. Was there like someone in the family that you guys want to make a difference because it affected you guys?
So I have several different whys. I'll go through 3 quickly. Okay. But one,
it's just like a 2-hour show. Right. So get your popcorn
Buckle
ready.
up. I was a young life leader for 7 years, and that's even how my wife and I met in a ministry that I love. And we just about 6-7 years ago, we just started to see more and more of this, of anxiety and depression, and it's something that we didn't really see 12 plus years ago when social media was at its infancy, and now this generation has grown up with it their whole life. And it's dangerous. So anyway, so that's one of them. It's like we were just seeing this, like, we got to do something about this, and this is the story and format and platform we have to be able to make a change. 2, I have 2 daughters. One is 10, and the number 2 cause of death in the U.S. is between 10 and 16-year-olds is suicide. 10-year-olds. And that changed. It was number 4, and it went above homicide and something else. But that's wild. It's the number 2 cause of death. Accidents are still like the first one, but after that, it's suicide. So that's a huge why.
Yeah, I mean, we have 8-year-olds, and the 8-year-olds even know the word suicide from going to school.
Right.
I was like, what did you just say? They're like, suicide. I'm like,
sure.
No, like, that's not okay. Like, we're not even like, what is it? Like, they know the word, they don't know what it was.
Right. Exactly what it is. And then my third is my sister. Growing up, I kind of always had to walk around eggshells around her quite a bit. Like, she was a great big sister most of the time, and the other time she wasn't. And so we found out in her 30s, she was diagnosed bipolar, and also pretty severe depression, which depression happens to be, I say, like a buddy thing. She had a lot of other illnesses. So whether it's a chemical imbalance or situational or whatever. So that was really important. Not only for her, of course, to have that clarity, but our whole family and her friends and everything. Like, it meant so much to us to understand. To understand what that, I'm not talking about understand what that was and what that means. And that's why our other huge why is we need to continue to have these conversations. Because if we don't, it's just we're going to have more and more suicides.
It's just unhelpful, right? We live in a world right now where there's a lot of education, and if we can educate to combat or to change, to change something, we can. And we're in a very great world that's abundance in a lot,
right? So, and of knowledge. And so that's one stat we share a lot, is about 80% of any kind of mental health, let's say, issue is treatable. I want to say curable, but treatable and manageable.
Yeah.
But only about 20% seek treatment. So that's another just huge reason. You know, when we fall down on a radical skateboard, adventure, and our bones popping out, we're going to the ER immediately because it's external. But when it's internal, it's a lot more complicated. So just again to encourage a more conversation.
Kind of feed off of that. This is going to turn into a whole show of this, but I really want to talk about your movie. But it doesn't help deliver my food to me by all these apps and the touchless come and get your own food. I'm just like, are we ever going to interact with people? Because the people that use that, I feel like I'm going to put you in a category. Hopefully you're watching this video right now, but it's not very social, right? It's not very helpful.
So I kind of joke about that and say we're kind of slowly turning into the WALL-E generation.
What is that?
If you've seen WALL-E, they end up just on this huge ship, and forever. A cruise, and they're so obese because everything's just in front of them.
I've not seen it.
They're hovering around, and I feel like we're slowly becoming.
Okay. Have you seen that, Joe? No, right?
What?
WALL-E? Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I figure one of them.
Y'all are crazy.
Yeah,
WALL-E is great.
I've seen the Goonies.
Yeah,
sure. I can probably
quote the Goonies
every line.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah, there's that one. But there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
Come on, give me a wet, slippery kiss like that. That's pretty good through the Mona Lisa or something. I don't remember if it was even the Mona Lisa.
I think it was.
It might have been.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a painting.
I'm a visual. Very cool. Very. What about your film crew? How do you pick a film crew?
Yeah.
Right? So we're talking about writing the script. It's cool. I got a script.
Right. So through Reckless Abandonment, on this particular film,
Reckless Abandonment is your company.
Yeah, Reckless Abandonment Pictures.
Look it up.
Yeah, so we do a lot of commercial work and film work, like we talked about. But we had on this film, we had 4 producers. So them and myself will go through and really start to build out our crew. It's a really, as you know, it's a really fun time to be a creative in Oklahoma. And we have a great film incentive, and we'd love to keep it and actually grow it, which is a whole other story we talk about some of the time.
Salesperson.
But right now it's about 37% of money qualified spent in Oklahoma. And so for us, we were a part of the rebate program. That was a big reason why we were able to get the legit crew and cast actually on board too that we had. But
awesome. So how do you pick that crew?
So we
because you worked with some of them, right? You have worked with some of them for a long time.
Yeah. So a lot of them we kind of knew, a bunch of our department heads, and it's just making sure they have available, checking availability and time and stuff, and we kind of been chatting with them for a while, on this film and how we're dreaming this up and everything. But also, we're again in a great digital age where you just hop on a Zoom call. So whether we're interviewing people here or Norman or Tulsa, we try to keep them in Oklahoma whenever we can. But we had a couple people that were in LA. That's a quick Zoom call, too, to interview them and interview several different people for position, and just like any other job, and then bring them on board. And it's such a fun time. I wouldn't have even imagined this. I graduated from Oklahoma Christian in 2007, and I wouldn't even imagine that we would have this type of film, this quality, and this type of film program in Oklahoma.
No, I didn't even know I'd be doing this, what I'm doing right now.
Absolutely.
Back whenever I was in Minco, Oklahoma. So, we had Lucas Ross on. He was our previous episode before.
Speaking of Minco,
Yes, and you guys knew anyways. He said something on the show. It was like, if I would have talked to myself 10 years ago and said, hey, you're going to be here in 10 years, I'd be like really proud, right? But then you get here and you're 10 years in, you're like, you forgot where you came from.
Oh, yeah.
You don't forget, but it's kind of like, I said, it kind of described as like a fish swimming in the water. You forgot that, So are you where you thought you would be? It sounds like no.
Yeah.
But are you achieved more than you thought you would have already?
I think it's kind of both, right? I think sometimes when we're like, because I knew I wanted to be a director when I was like 16. I knew, and even I had a professor that really poured into me, and he gave me the keys to the high school and the editing bay. It's like he made dubs of them.
Yeah, you knew.
But I knew. But so I think part of that is like oh, I'm going to direct Spider-Man and Ninja Turtle. You know, like I thought there was that at that young of an age. But even really starting to get into independent filmmaking and music. I mean, I would never have actually thought that I would be doing all of the commercial work that we're doing and working, well, even what that looks like to communicate, you know, daily, weekly with VPs and SVPs of, you know, Hasbro and DreamWorks and Nickelodeon.
What's
and
SVPs?
Senior Vice President. Yeah, like I think I had...
That's for all the kids out there.
Right. You know, I think I didn't even, you know, imagine that. And it's been so fun to work with these brands that I grew up loving. You know, working with Nickelodeon on Turtles stop motion.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, you remember like your first call, like with some of those groups, you're just like sweating and you're like, oh man, you know, telling everybody, your wife or something.
Yeah.
Right? And then like you're 30 meetings in, and it's just a normal day.
Yeah,
right?
I remember. So we had a couple of viral videos, and the first call I got, you know, just said Burbank, California, and I thought someone was messing with me because they said we're from DreamWorks. We love
everything. Seems like a spam call, and it's like someone that really matters.
And I vividly remember that because I feel like they were, you know, they're saying we loved your Ninja Turtle stop motion. We want you to do that same treatment for our show Dino Trucks, which was a hit CG.
Okay.
At the time on Netflix.
Dino Trucks.
And
good.
I was like, no, and I feel like I didn't like cuss them out, but I feel like I was like, stop calling me, you know, whatever. And they called me, I hung up, and they called me back and like, no, seriously, we'd love to have you. So that was my first like paid.
You're like, we'll see if payment comes through, right?
Yeah, that was my first paid stop motion gig, and then we went on to do a whole Trolls, you know, series with them too, and all.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
yeah, that's cool. You know, you're saying you knew at age 16. Today was the first day of school for my kids.
Yeah, mine too.
So,
yeah.
Rhett, my wife always does this thing, what they want to be. Man, he still wants to be a snow cone maker. So I think he may
set the bar low.
He may know.
And see what happens.
Well, he says he gets to eat all the snow cones he wants. So
how old is he?
8.
Yeah, that's
snow
awesome.
cone maker. Yeah, but all right, guys. So you want to learn more about Kyle?
When my dad brought me on this trip, it ignited my love for adventure. This is once in a lifetime. Let's make it count.
Together we are better. Together we are better.
We're all here for you. You know that, right?
Together we are better.
All right, Kyle. So back to what rhymes with reason. You can buy tickets.
Yeah.
People can buy tickets right now.
Right now. So we're about 2 months out. Well, I don't know when this airs, but
In September, I think, right?
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
2023.
Our film releases nationwide in 700 plus theaters all across the country on October 10th.
Okay. Yeah. So this is going to be out right before it. So you can pre-buy.
Yeah,
right.
Tickets right now, and it's a one-night event on. And we didn't even realize this when we signed up with Fathom Events, who's running it, and they are owned by Regal, Cinemark, AMC, you know, all over the country.
Yeah.
So they're like October 10th is the only day in October we have. Will this work for you? And we're like, yeah, great. And then we had the next day we had a call with National 988, who's a big sponsor for this, the mental health lifeline, and they're like, yeah, that day is perfect. And we're like, yeah, and I know it's perfect, but I want to, just so we are on the same page, why is this perfect?
Yeah.
And like, it's World Mental Health Day. And
Okay.
so I was like, that's awesome.
Nobody
we
did
had
it on, no one
yeah.
did it on purpose.
Yeah, we had no idea. So, I mean, obviously, I'm going to say that
That's
was
better than winning the lotto.
Yeah, that was
just all worked out.
God's plan for
Yeah.
this and for this film, and to have this and have basically the nation coming together in theaters and watching this film and continuing these conversations around.
That's cool.
around mental health.
So where are you going to be on that day?
Yeah, if you're in Oklahoma area, I'll be
Backyard on it.
with my family at AMC Quail Springs, and that's
Okay.
about a 300-some seater theater. So
Okay.
I think
So
they're
you know
about
where
halfway
Kyle
full.
will be.
Yeah.
Go.
No, yeah, and we're
Go
gonna do a special.
stalk him.
Absolutely, and we're gonna do a special Q&A and stuff there too.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
After the show, I'm going to get Kyle to sign my chest.
Wow.
Whole new level.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, you do a lot. You've done a lot. You're not done.
Right.
What business hacks do you have for our audience? I always like to ask that
Yeah.
question because you're a business owner.
Yes.
You're a movie maker. You're I have stop animation questions for you too.
Yeah.
But like, what business hacks do you have for our audience, or business singular?
Yeah. So again,
hack.
we talk about like passion and persistence. For me, what has always worked is the passion sells. Like when people see how passionate you are about something, they're in. Like you don't have to explain the numbers of something and how this is going to work and why this is going to be effective. If you can sell them on your, at least that's how it's worked for me. If you can sell them on your passion, the rest of it doesn't matter. You need to have that business plan. You need to have those things in effect.
They're going to want to see a plan.
And there are some people that are very ones and zeros, especially investors, and will need to see that. But for me, as far as crew and crewing up everybody and everything else, is passion sells, getting sponsors, all those kind of things. But also, so very specifically, our first stop motion was a recreation, fan-made Ninja Turtles stop motion, where we recreated the 1987 cartoon intro, frame by frame, with action figures. As just a creative like learning thing.
Well,
like,
just so stop motion, sorry to interrupt, for people that are watching, for my mother-in-law, tell her what stop motion is.
Yeah, so stop motion is where it's a form of animation where you take a picture of something, move it, take a picture, move it, take a picture, move it, take a picture, and at the end of all those pictures, it is a video. So it is your film. It is so film is a collection of images, essentially with sound and all these other things. But it's a collection of images, and that's what stop motion is. You take physical, tangible things, take pictures of them at either 12 frames a second, 24, however you want to do it.
However many pictures you want to.
However you want to do it, and depending on how much it has, how smooth it is. And that is stop motion animation.
Very cool. How'd you get into that?
So that was our first one. That Ninja Turtles, we made a Ninja Turtles fan-made stop motion, just as a fun deal and to learn a new craft. So
what year was that?
That was like, like 09 or 10 maybe.
Okay.
So I mean, I had just graduated college for a few years, and it was just learning a new craft. It's like, I'll do this. This will be fun. Yeah. And so me and two other people, we just did it. We hand doodle art at all these backgrounds. But the hack, the business hack, is once we have a video, we were really proud of it. We thought it was super fun. Yeah. But at that point, I mean, it was just me and some of our friends, that watched our YouTube. Like it wasn't anything, and we'd be lucky to have like 30 views on something. So
we still are.
Right. So we. I literally, and I had a job at News OK in the Oklahoman at the time. Yeah. So we'd got press releases all the time. We'd get stuff, and I just kind of learned to send it out all over the place. So I send it out. I would go to LA Times, USA Today, Wired Magazine, MTV, all these things. Find their specific. I mean, this was a lot of work. It was like
this is
2 or 3 weeks of work.
Hack.
This is a business hack. LA Times, the Oklahoman, whatever. You could go to their website and find a reporter. So I'd find reporters that had written about other stop motion work. So whether that was like Fantastic Mr. Fox, which was a film, or like another fan-made Iron Man or Batman stop motion, something like that.
You would go target those
and
people.
then I would find them and find their email, and then literally just say like one sentence of like, hey, I've seen this stop motion, hyperlink this stop motion, and that was their Iron Man fan-based stop motion.
Right.
I think your audience, so putting it in perspective of not just, hey, I need some press. Yeah. Your audience would dig this fan-made stop motion we did. Yeah. And then I would say, instead of putting a press release of a huge text, we would get that all the time in the Oklahoman, and we would never read them. I would just say press release is in the video description, the YouTube video description. So then we did make a press release, and we paste it in the YouTube video description. So then it's a 1-sentence thing or 2-sentence thing with the link and like a splash page of Ninja Turtles, whatever, like an image. Then they would click on, it gets them to click on the video, and then it's literally, you try to make it as easy as possible. So it's a copy and paste thing of a story. Yeah, without even having that
Great
story.
Idea. Did you come up with that idea?
I did.
Yeah. Man, there was something I was going to ask you. Oh yeah, did you use like a mail client, like open to see if you could see if they opened or click your links?
I didn't. I mean, literally, did it
exist at that time?
I'm sure it did.
Yeah. But it was probably a paid service.
Yeah, right? I was like 25.
There's still a paid service if they work well.
Any of that, but it was just looking up a bunch of press, and then I was able to develop relationships with these press and other and then when Posthuman came out, I picked up all this.
I didn't mention that movie.
Yeah, all good.
Any other business hacks?
I mean, that's
a great one.
Yeah, that's a huge one that I think people just don't think about. They don't think like, oh, I can email people, I can look, their email is on there, and most like actual
it's usually public.
news affiliate, like newspapers, official credential news sites, they have their emails, on there. You click on an article, it's written by this person, click on that, and they will give you their email.
Well, and since we're kind of talking about emails, I mean, you can also, if you have one person's email,
right,
and the other person's first and last name, and you can kind of see the pattern that they're in, you
Yeah,
have the other people's emails too.
That's a good, that's a really good business pack that, hack.
Yeah, it's a pack hack.
It's pack hack that I think some people know, but they may not be thinking about it. They may not think about, okay, if it's at Hasbro.com and it's,
J. Owens or whatever.
J. Owens.
Then it's K. Roberts.
Then K. Roberts is probably going to, so you can try it, and the worst case you get this isn't an email, back.
Yeah. Also get you one of those mail clients so you can see if it's been opened or not, and you can see if the links have been clicked. Those are easy to get right now too.
Absolutely.
And we are not affiliated with any of those. So,
but you can.
But you can. What about life hacks? So life hacks, I would say more on a personal level, versus business. You want to share any of those, or are they too personal?
I'm just trying to think. I don't know if I'm trying to like cutting a line somewhere. I don't know.
Go fish. Go fish. That's a good 80s game.
Yeah. I just don't know. I mean, anytime I'm not, as a creative, the business side of it, in creatives, all of it is so consuming. It's all the same thing. Yeah. I try to have the best, kind of work-life balance. And in those moments, I'm just trying to be as present, as
leave work alone, leave the phone alone.
Possible.
And then do you go play basketball at lunch because you're just trying to take a break?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I
try to get some steps
I know Kyle
in.
more than he knows himself.
I guess if anything to share there is just to be intentional, but everyone knows that. But
I don't think they do.
I'll put my phone in the other room, or just be intentional about that time and be there. Yeah. Truly be there.
Yep.
It's important.
Be present.
Yeah.
So my next question, we've already kind of answered, like, how'd you get to where you're at today? So it all started.
I played with action figures and made a fan-made stop motion.
So that was first, like, step one.
Yeah.
Well, step one was you went to college.
Sure, I went to college.
Yeah. But what happened after that?
I was born on a cold night in March in 1980 something.
In the back of a car.
Yeah, I was.
4 foot of snow.
Do you know this?
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
I thought it was really on something.
I did pee on the nurse, and my parents tell that story all the time. Like, I gave her my first shot, and I just
let her have it.
just went for it.
Payback.
Yeah.
Well, you've done some stuff for Nerf too, right?
Yeah.
So he's already squirt guns and everything, peeing on nurses, the whole deal.
Yeah.
But the actual, but the Nerf show, that was really cool.
Yeah.
That was
super fun. I mean, they were looking at production company. That was a big win for our team in Oklahoma. They were looking at production companies all over the world.
It was on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon
did a
talked
shout
about
out.
us.
Yeah.
And we were in the middle of filming, and the first episode came out. So I have to talk about this real quick, but E1 is Hasbro's biggest production arm.
Okay.
So that's our day-to-day contacts, and they're in London, so that we Zoom with them, day-to-day, weekly.
Okay.
And they were literally looking for companies all over, and they loved our pitch, Come Back to the Passion. And I did a video pitch, and I pitched, this radical show where we have 6 of the best trick shot teenagers.
So it's
from
just
all
so
over
you're
the
rolling
country.
the camera on yourself just like this. And here's my idea, guys, and then they get to see your passion.
6 of the best trick shot teenagers from all over the United States come, and they battle each other in a lake house in Oklahoma. And they loved that. They loved that idea because the other people pitched a bunch of different things, or in the snow or whatever else, but they loved that lake house concept. And so we filmed it on this mansion in Grand Lake, Oklahoma.
I remember that.
And it was super fun. It was fun for our crew because we're basically this workcation, we're living in, there's 2 mansions right by each other. So the crew was in one and Cass was in one. They sent us 300 Nerf guns, Nerf blasters. That we, that's what Jimmy
Scooter.
Fallon,
I remember a scooter.
Talked about it because it looked crazy. There's all these
it's a good show. It's on YouTube.
You guys know what a blaster wall is? It's like a 12-year-old, kid's dream of have a blaster wall in the room.
Guns.
Of Nerf blasters.
Can't say pegboard.
And we had it all over the house. So there's a 30-foot one, 40-foot one outside, and then in different places. One was by the dock, one was outside, one was just in hallways of this house.
So what's your favorite Nerf gun? You should know this.
I do have one.
Do you?
So on this show, It was called the Scream Machine.
Okay.
And it was this one that took ultra darts, which are they now categorize them as like adult darts because they hurt. If they hit you, they shoot really far and they hurt.
Yeah.
It's not just the normal kind of foam ones. Anyway, but it takes batteries, so you hear this, it revs up.
God, I don't like
and
that.
When you hear that rev, you know it's coming.
I don't like that because I can't hide. That's
true.
why I don't like that gun.
That's true.
I've seen it. I've seen that gun. I was like, man, I like this gun, but I can't be sneaky.
Yeah, and then they have these special whistle darts with them.
Yeah, those
too.
are cool. I like those.
So it revs and it whistles and it shoots it far, like 50 yards.
Okay.
It's like half a football field. And yeah, it's called Scream Machine, and it's
That's
just
cool.
I felt like it was a really fun one.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but you put that whole thing together too, right?
For
the Nerf.
yeah, I mean, started literally like I was saying, started with a pitch where they were looking at production companies all over.
You throw the card. It's your turn. That's solid. Yeah.
Boom! Right on the lens, baby. Let's go.
All right. So advice for someone making a movie.
Don't do it.
Don't do it?
It's just too much work.
But I really want to make a movie. Where should they start?
making
Start
a
with
film-
not making one?
I feel like it always comes from this place. It's not just because you're a big fan of films,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I feel like the art of making movies is a calling. Like it's something you feel led. Everyone I've talked to, whether it's a spiritual thing or just you feel this calling of you're led to do.
Got to tell the story.
Because we have to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something. So you might be in high school, go into video production classes in high school, whatever else, and obviously all that stuff is great. I would advise someone so there's a 48-hour film race.
Yep.
And actually I'm going to a thing tonight.
Do you not create
about
that?
Huh?
Isn't that your baby?
I've done. No, I didn't start it.
Oh, I thought you did.
No,
All right.
our team has done
Everything film. I think Kyle started.
Kyle, I did.
So I was
I'm
like,
the inventor.
Well, that's why he's here on the show. We got to cut this. All right.
But there are chapters all over the country.
Okay.
that
I didn't
participate
know
in this.
that.
Yeah, a 48-hour film competition. Our team has done 4 of them or something. But look it up. Type it up. 48-hour film contest in your city.
Yeah.
There's also 24-hour ones too. But get connected with the team.
Everyone's always tired.
Yeah. But get connected with the team because in 2 days you're gonna make something together, and you'll learn a lot through that. Especially if you can get connected with a director or producer on the team that has actually a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So for me, that was really great because we would try out some other, like you said, we have kind of our go-to people that we'll use, but we'll try out some other people on the art department or in editing or a colorist, or score.
tower removal.
Yeah, exactly. To try out, and in a 48-hour film competition, you can do that and not have a lot. For me, not have a lot of risk in that too.
Yeah.
And so there have been people that we've, I want to say, used, worked with on. No one gets paid on that.
Right,
You're
it's
in
all
it to
pro
create
bono,
something together. And in 2 days, you made a
They're
movie.
creating a portfolio piece.
Yeah.
Something to build off of.
And then so for them, if they're looking to do this, that's a great way to get connected because it's not a lot of effort for them. It's not working on something as an intern for a year or something.
Yeah.
It's getting connected with them in 2 days. You made something. They can get to see what you can do.
I would even think as an intern somewhere,
Yeah.
you may have nothing to show for that when
Right.
you're done.
Right.
Nothing
right.
at all.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So then at the end of those 2 days, you have this piece of art. It may not be great, but you did it together.
Yeah.
And more importantly, if you're connected with a producer or director that is talented and actually is a filmmaker that you're seeking to be like and in their shoes, then they got to see what you're all about and what you can do.
Yeah. I would my only advice for the people that are just starting out is don't act like you know everything and be willing to learn.
Right.
Right? If you're willing to learn,
I feel like work ethic is another big part of that. So persistence is good. We talk about passion, persistence, but also just work ethic. When I see people that are busting their butt and working really hard, I'll oftentimes hire that person over somebody that might be more talented. I mean, they have to have a certain level of skill, and depending on the position that you have. But I will for sure hire someone that I believe is going to put that much more love into what they're doing than someone that might have more talent but doesn't care.
Yeah, we're going to put love in this show.
Yeah.
All right. So as a movie maker, how are you making money? So you got funding. How'd you get funding? I mean, can you answer some of these questions for our audience?
So basically, we did a few different approaches for funding. What rhymes with reason? I can't say the budget.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's pretty big for Oklahoma, kind of thing. But we part of it was all of these family brands and all of this commercial work we've got to do. Nickelodeon, Hasbro, dropping all those names again. But I pinched pennies, for 6 years on money that we got back from those, which was great. And so I was able to be an investor myself in it. I did we have 10 shares in the movie. I was able to do a tenth of it, which was big for me. And that also helped conversations with investors.
Sure.
I noticed.
Because you had some skin in the game.
Because, and I didn't even think about that. I did it because it was needed. So at a certain point, I just did it. I prayed about it, had a conversation with my wife about it, but she was like, okay, let's do this. And so, but every conversation we had with investors after that, it was like a domino effect. And I don't know if that will work for everybody, but for me, that was huge because they knew that they had way more money than I do, but that I was willing to not risk it all, but risk a lot, and have my own skin in the game, for this. Yeah. And so that was huge. So that part was huge. We also started a nonprofit called Kingdom Media Club that people can go to right now and donate to it if they want. And
Kingdom Media Club?
Yeah, Kingdom Media Club. So we have a website, kingdommediaclub.org. And right now, actually, we are raising money for the print and advertising, so the marketing of this film, and it helps it get out to teenagers and families that need to see this movie. So if you guys have heard of like Pay It Forward from Angel Studios or Sound of Freedom, whatever else, we have a ability on our site where people can go and donate, and it helps purchase tickets for kids and families that actually do need to be there, but maybe can't afford it.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I had no clue. I'm glad I asked. So how are you making money from the movie, right?
Yeah. So right now we're marketing it. So
you market it. You have to pay back all your investors.
Yep.
Right. Everybody's got to get their money back.
Yep.
Crew's already paid.
Yep.
All that stuff's paid.
Yep.
And then the rest is off ticket sales. I was trying to explain the process to the audience that doesn't know.
So a lot of people don't realize, when you go see a movie and you have your ticket, it's like, may think, Hollywood gets all this or, whatever. And some tickets are, if you go to like IMAX, it's $18, $20, a ticket. And that would be like about the highest probably here. But that's a lot, you buy your popcorn and all this other stuff. But so for us, our ticket sales, we get about 37% of ticket sales back to the film. So coming back to Oklahoma and back to what we're doing and, more positive messages like this. 25% of it goes to theaters. And then 20-some% of it, or another 30-some% of it, whatever, goes to Fathom Events, who is hosting this movie. Okay. So
I just think kind of a breakdown like that, it's kind of let people understand it takes a lot to make a movie, but not everyone understands how are you gonna make money.
And a lot of people don't realize this, but the reason why concessions, I think this is interesting. Maybe people don't. Let me hear it. Why is popcorn $20 and a drink? Yeah. Because theaters don't get a lot of that. Again, we said that's 25% of it. That's where they actually even make money. Yeah, they don't make money on ticket sale. They make some. But then the longer they have a movie, that percentage actually changes throughout. I don't know if you knew that. So that's the bigger movies like Star Wars or whatever, it'll be like a 50-50 film and then box office, I think, but then theaters get 10%. But then that 10% goes up week after week.
Probably even matinees is a different percentage. Than, probably it's just a daytime.
I think it's the same percentage, but they're just trying to be competitive on that.
Never mind.
Yeah,
I made that up. Totally made that up.
I'm trying to get more butts and seats.
But it's online, so you have to believe it.
Right.
Okay. It's stressful to make a movie.
Yeah.
Very stressful.
Yeah. It is. I love every part of the process. So even right now, in the marketing phase of the film, some directors, it's I'm a storyteller, which is great, and that's why they are doing what they're doing. But I also have a marketing brain, and that's why we do all this commercial work. Yeah. So I've loved, instead of marketing for Trolls or Ninja Turtles or Thomas and Friends, that we get to market our own IP, our own intellectual property, our own characters.
Yeah, that's a great stepping stone, right? You're doing work for all these brands, and you're watching them use your stuff that you created, and now you guys actually created what. And you're doing.
And we're working on our own products and shirts and backpacks and different things. It's who would have thought? Necklaces. Not me.
Yeah. I've asked you this before, but I have to ask it for our audience. You going to make another movie?
I hope so.
Hope so.
So yeah, we have our future of Reckless Abandonment Pictures. We have a slate of 3 projects, and I can't really go into all of that. all the
Okay, I
detail of
thought
those.
there was more than Hope So in there that I remember hearing.
Yeah, but it is a series and 2 features. At the moment, I mean, it does kind of is contingent on like how well this does. So
Mental health
get a ticket,
oriented
get a
ones,
ticket.
or can you say?
Yeah, I mean, they're all kinds of different.
Okay.
I would say challenges with youth.
Okay.
And for sure, and that's something we're very proud. They're all coming of age stories
Yeah.
in different rights.
Well, I mean, your movie's about youth, and
Yes.
the other movies you're saying are about youth,
Yeah.
and then it kind of piques my interest because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
sure.
touched you
Yeah.
when you were in your youth.
Yeah.
So, is there a correlation between all of that? You think because you're helping youth, with youth, and then I remember
don't
your
know
Teenage
if it's like
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
specifically, but I've always gravitated to the
Yeah.
Turtles over other even like superhero things or whatever because it is a coming of age a story of identity
Yeah.
and purpose.
Yeah.
And I think I actually did like a long Facebook post about this one
Yeah.
time, and people were like, "Dang it, I'm gonna love the Turtles now," because people
Yeah.
think of the Ninja Turtles as cowabunga, fun, pizza,
Yeah, rad.
whatever.
Yeah.
but not really the depths,
meaning?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
meaning and depths of it, which is they're just trying to figure out where they fit. you
Yeah.
know, where they fit in the world.
Well, and it sounds like you're making movies
Right.
trying to help youth. Like then,
Right.
the Ninja Turtles stuff helped you as a kid. So that's
Yeah.
I think that's very entertaining, like interesting.
Yeah, and I think I've
Have you
just
ever put
always
that together before?
Well, just talking about all of this, I've gravitated towards this because that's when I found my calling when I was about 16. I found my faith when I was about 16. Like it was a very like some people find this out later in life,
Yeah.
and that's great.
Like me, 40.
There's coming of age stories of 30 and 40 and 60,
Yeah.
kind of thing too, of kind of figuring out their own why and their purpose and all these things. I did feel that at a pretty young age, but I feel like a lot of people, it's a very informative time.
Yeah.
I think is really interesting as the synapse in your brain is starting
Yeah.
to develop, and you don't quite have like instructions of how I have a car, but what are the responsibilities of this, and what is this, and what are these things? And so I think I've just always been intrigued with that because it's something that's a very specific time in people's lives, but it relates to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of ethnicity going on with Ninja Turtles, are there?
Right. No, exactly. No, yeah. That's of course. Yeah. No,
They
that's
need
how I
to
love
get a
Ninja Turtles.
female turtle.
Yeah.
Huh? You ever thought that?
Yeah, there is one.
There
There's
is?
a couple, yeah. There's one
What?
that in
How have I missed
general
this?
people hate on this live action turtle show.
Really? I've not seen it.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
Geneva is the yellow one, and she's awesome.
Really?
She's the badass.
Okay, nice. I had no clue.
So she's in the comics, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they're always ahead of me somewhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not always.
So
So.
what I had to, I think I said is Jenica.
Oh, okay.
I said her
Not
name
Geneva.
wrong.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's Jenica.
I'm sure she'll forgive you.
Jeez, I'm gonna get put on the.
Yeah. If you want to leave something
This
in the
guy
comments,
thinks he's a Ninja Turtles fan. It's Jenica.
have you ever done martial arts?
No.
Oh man.
Yeah. I had a broom and pretended I was Donatello like a lot of kids. And,
Nice.
you grab something.
Did you at least like cut the end of it off or anything, or like?
Yeah,
take out
of course.
you
and
did.
then you get in trouble and you're like, but it's the bow staff.
But now we
Come
can't.
on!
But now we can't sweep up what you just made a mess with. Yeah.
Right.
What actions do you want our viewers to take? Do you want them to go, is there a what rhymes with reason, social media?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want them to do? Send you a message.
Yeah, there's a lot of places to follow. I mean, wrwrfilm.com is a great resource. It has all of our socials on there. It has our trailer on there. It has where you can buy tickets on there.
Okay.
It even has a link to donate for people to purchase other tickets for other people that can go.
Okay.
And it's a kind of a one-stop shop.
Well, and you're also
Yeah.
doing stuff with churches and communities and stuff too, right? There's even package deals.
Yes.
Yeah. Am I right?
Yes.
I have seen that. Man, I've been paying attention.
Yes, so we have a toolkit on our website that's if people are watching this and they're like, how can I help?
If you made it this far in the episode.
Yeah, yeah. Thankfully, we get that a lot. There's a toolkit on our website. It's in the resources page. It literally has everything that you can need. There's an old school at this point printout flyer.
Okay.
You could print out just a page and you could put it up in your school or a church or your work. You guys could put it over here.
Yeah.
And it has a QR code that has that website and where people can get more information.
Okay. Very cool. Let's see what I got next on our agenda here. Do you want to tell people what you do in your spare time, or are you ready to get out of here?
I mean, again, it's just spending time with family. It's being intentional about that time.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he's already answered that. So we're about to get out of here.
Yes.
All right, cool. So he's already got his glasses from the show.
Yep.
Thanks for
We're ready.
picking those up.
Yeah.
Guys, don't forget to subscribe. And thank you to our episode sponsor. And Kyle, super grateful to have you on the show. man.
Absolutely.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Billy coming at you with another video. I'm here with the squad. We must follow the clues to Zion Point, a mysterious location that cannot merely be found on Google Maps. Trust me, I've tried, and it all starts at Worthington Acres, baby. Guys!
When my dad brought me on this trip, it ignited my love for adventure. This is once in a lifetime. Let's make it count.
Jesse, the meteor shower's in 2 days.
What's a 3-day round trip?
Can't we find another time?
We don't always get another time. I know there's a million reasons not to, and I don't blame you guys if you say no, but I'm watching that shower from Zion Point.
You know, last night by the campfire, you said God has a plan for everyone. You really mean that?
Wait, what happened to the gunshots?
Yo, that was crazy. Those guys had like real guns. I feel so alive right now.
Okay, do you guys think this is a joke? Because we could literally all die out here.
Together we are better, better. And we finally know now we're not on our own now. All together. Together we are better, better.
We're all here for you. You know that, right? All this weight that you're carrying doesn't have to all be on you.
Together we are better, better. Together we are better, better. Together we are better, better. Together we are better, better.
Yo, guys, what's a good hashtag?
Try hashtag me before someone throws my phone off a cliff.
You know, that kind of slaps, but it's a little long.